If you didn't know, guys, then this week we saw Earth Day. But let's be honest, it shouldn't really be Earth Day. We should be considering kind of the Earth every day. I thought it was an appropriate time to talk about sustainability within the wedding industry, bring you some tips, bring you some ideas, and kind of give you some knowledge as well, because I think there's a lot of things that brides, grooms just don't know about the wedding industry and its impact on the world, and how you can be more sustainable and make more sustainable choices. And I think it is really important for us in the industry to be educating you and to be sharing some of this information with you, because you just don't know it, you're not aware of it. So today I'm going to try and do that. So I've got lots of lovely ideas for you and lots of information for you as well, so I hope you find it helpful. So let's jump into this week's video. Okay guys, so first of all, I've got lots of different ideas for you to showcase how you can be more sustainable and make more sustainable choices when planning your wedding. The wedding industry is terrible for sustainability. There are a lot of people out there now that are really trying to make change, and that's amazing, but there is so much waste in our industry. So if we can make small changes, all of us, then it really will have a great impact. And I want to try and educate you guys and inform you of sort of ways that you can do that. So first of all, let's start with going local. By choosing local suppliers to where you're getting married, it means that you're cutting down on carbon emissions with the suppliers' travel. If you were hiring people in from, say, London, but you're getting married up in, I don't know, Yorkshire or down in Cornwall, there's obviously a lot of travel involved. Also, if you're getting married abroad and then you're flying suppliers over to where you're getting married, that's a really big impact with carbon emissions. I'm not saying don't do that, but if you want to be more sustainable, that's definitely one way you can do it. So go local as much as possible. Next up, let's look at invites. Now, I know that this one gets talked about quite a lot, and there's lots of different ways to do it. Some people will suggest that you can just scrap invites altogether and you can go online and go digital, which is great. There's loads of places now that are doing fantastic online invitations, such as Paperless Post. And you can also look at doing your RSVPs online. As a supplier and a wedding planner myself, I always recommend my clients do their RSVPs online. Firstly, because it's more sustainable and I really am passionate about trying to make tweaks and move forward in that. But also, it's a lot easier. It is actually a lot easier to have your RSVPs online and to track them. So even if my clients decide that they want to send out invitations, we always have a QR code so that they can then RSVP online, instead of having to send information or additional information in with their invites, which is more paper, and I just don't think it's necessary. We also advise wedding websites for all that additional information, so people can go back to it as well. It's more convenient and it's better for the planet. Other ways that you can look at being more sustainable within your invitations is looking at seeded paper. You can look at how much stationery you actually need on the day. Can you cut that down? So just little tweaks that you can be making just to sort of improve the quantity of waste, essentially. Then let's look at food. So food is a really tricky one, and I cannot tell you the amount of waste that I see at the end of events, and it hurts my soul, literally. So I think with food, it is a tricky one, and there are some amazing, incredible caterers out there doing fantastic things. For example, Lettuce Events. They are a registered B Corp. There's only, I want to say, 3,000 B Corps in the UK. It's really hard to do, and they're putting people and planet before profit, and they're making some incredible moves. Like, it's really impressive. But with catering, again, if you're going local so that the travel isn't so far, not just with the caterer that you're using, but also speaking to them about where they source their produce from. Are they going to local farmers? Is it all locally grown, field to fork? You know, is it local, or are they like sort of buying it in and importing it in? Like, how does it work? So sort of having an understanding of that, I think, is really important if you want to have a more sustainable day. So I think speaking to your caterers, or just sort of researching them a little bit more and just understanding, you know, do they buy local? What's their sort of ethics on waste? How do they deal with their waste? You know, is there a lot of waste? Are they buying just what they need? Are they then reusing the waste for something else? Are they sending it? What are they doing? What's their policy in place for that? Looking at their carbon footprint as well, and looking at transport. You know, there are companies that will make sure that as many people from a team go into one car or to one van, just again, so it's cutting things down. There are companies that are planting trees so that they can kind of offset their carbon emissions, which is great. So a little bit of research, but that's definitely some of the ways how you can be more sustainable when choosing a caterer. Next up, we've got flowers. So with flowers, there's a few different ways. One in particular is choosing a florist that doesn't use toxic floral foam. And a lot of people, I don't feel, know this. So as a wedding planner myself, I won't recommend a florist to any of my clients that uses toxic foam or floral foam. I just don't feel it's necessary, and as my part, I want to play a part in being more sustainable within the industry, so I will only recommend florists that use no foam, that are foam free. And foam is just, it's really bad for the environment. So perhaps looking at florists again, as we do, that are foam free is a great way to be more sustainable at your wedding. And there's loads of mechanics and different options out there now for florists to not have to use that. So have a chat with them, see if they do use that. Are they growing locally? Are they growing their own? Are they sourcing locally? Again, same as the food, you know, what's the travel on the flowers? Are they importing? Again, because that just increases the carbon emissions. Do they provide trees and shrubs? That's a great way to hire in the trees and the shrubs because they're reusable. You can either gift them or the company just take them back and reuse them on several weddings. So they're actually getting so much more use and life out of than just one day, which is a fantastic way to kind of like be more sustainable within your wedding. And then you can repurpose your items. This is something that we recommend to everybody, is to repurpose your flowers throughout the wedding day. Don't just have the ceremony flowers just for the ceremony that's maybe 30 minutes and then that's it. It is a waste. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of flowers. So repurpose, and that doesn't come free. You know, your florist will need to stay on site and repurpose those for you. But it's a great way of making your budget work better for you, as well as being more sustainable and having less waste. So I think that one is a win-win, and you should all be doing that one. And then you can look at different options. So you can look at fresh, you can look at dried, you can look at a combination of fresh and dried flowers, because obviously dried flowers, you know, they are getting a second life. I'm not a huge fan of dried flowers, but I do see a purpose, and they can look really pretty mixed in with fresh flowers. And yeah, they're having a second life. They had a life when they were fresh, and now they're getting another go. And I think that's a great way to sort of incorporate some more sustainability within your floral designs at your wedding. And then there's confetti as well, which I'm going to tie in with flowers. Obviously going sustainable is really important. A lot of venues as well will expect you to be using something sustainable. They won't allow paper. A lot of them have to be dried or fresh flowers. And there's companies like Confetti Club who are absolutely brilliant, and they are actually a registered charity. So they have all the florists who, after weddings, they will then donate all the leftover flowers to them, and they will dry them and create the confetti for you guys. It's a fantastic business model. So it's something you can look at as either getting your confetti from, but you could also speak to them about donating all your flowers after the wedding to them. We also have had a lovely chat with them over there at Confetti Club, and they have kindly offered to give you guys 10% off if you want to get your confetti through them. All you have to do is use the code Bluebird10, so I will link that down below for you. So that's amazing. Next up, we have tableware. Now there's a few different ways that you could be a little bit more sustainable here. So first of all, you can look at hiring, which most people do, to be honest, for their tableware. But again, look at the companies that you're hiring from. Where are you bringing it from? Transport, location, again, those carbon emissions. So really be considered when you're choosing those hire companies. Or you can go out and source your own table pieces, perhaps going to charity shops, perhaps, you know, looking at second-hand pieces online. What can you find that actually will bring some life and some detail and a story to your wedding day? And then if you do decide to buy new, that's fine, but then look at reselling, you know, so that they can have a second life. Looking on Facebook groups is absolutely great, and Marketplace and all that kind of thing. There's other items that people have used on their wedding day which could be great for you, and then you could put it back on afterwards. Lots of people are doing that now, and I think it's fantastic. And then when we're talking about the second-hand kind of space and the charity shops and all of that, and we can actually be looking at our attire as well and fashion. So perhaps you want to look on Vinted or eBay for your bridesmaids dresses, or even your wedding dress and suits. And then we obviously go into the renting market for fashion, and that is really having like sort of a big moment right now. So you've got brands like Her, you've got brands like By Rotation, and they have got some incredible rental pieces, which is so much more sustainable. These items are getting so much more wear and use, especially if you are only going to wear it once. So it's a great way to kind of work with your budget, work with sustainability and so on. So definitely look at renting if that kind of fits like the vibe for you. And then finally, whilst we're talking about dresses and fashion, I just want to bring up another brand called Magical Dorothy, and they are a sort of cleaning service. They are also a B Corp, which I think really is fantastic, and they have basically created an innovative technology as part of their cleaning process, so it reduces the environmental impact, which I think is so clever. So if you are looking at being more sustainable after your wedding, and you're keeping your dress or your suit or whatever, and you want to have it cleaned professionally, then definitely look at Magical Dorothy. And again, they have given us a discount code for you guys to use, which again is Bluebird 10, so definitely go check them out as well. Anyway guys, I hope you found this video super helpful today. I will be back soon with another video for you. Until then, have an amazing week.